Oh man, it is so hot today. Why does it have to just go from like being like spring, nice, cool weather to like 1,000 degrees?
I
Welcome to
mean,
Sunday Live Chat, and my very special guest, as always, the wondrous IAMX Chris Corner. Welcome, Chris.
hello, hello,
So good,
Kevin,
so good to see
my
you again.
my only friend.
Ah, same. I've come to realize that since you moved away from this area, that I never go out anymore.
Oh, I mean, it's the same for me. But I just bring the party here, so you're welcome to come and party anytime, my friend.
Well, you're definitely known to have some of the best parties that, well, I witnessed one, and I will say that I'm very impressed with what you set up and the environment and everything. And it's been over a year now, so I'm anxious to hear all about it. But I was noticing that also that this year is also our 10-year anniversary, being the friends that we are.
Is it?
Can you believe that?
Oh my God, look at that. Look how innocent and naive we.
It's crazy to think that time just rips by, and
It's kind of, yeah, it's a dream. Life is
it
a dream.
is it. I mean, come on. I'm trying to get a grasp
Don't
on
try.
what it all actually is. But hey, welcome everybody that's on here from the IMX Patreon as well as our own Patreon. It's great to have you here. I should say, yeah, Chris, man, it's quite a bit of evolution in the sense as well of since I first met you, and you said that you had a thing for the desert, and you weren't kidding. And
Yeah,
basically, I've got to experience the whole evolution from the 29 Palms experience, I'll call it, to the pioneer town and all sorts of nudity and great things along the way. But to also witness the evolution of you building it now, what I guess you could say your own, is it your own complex out there?
it is. That's been a dream for a long time. I've wanted to build a kind of space for the freaks, for the neurodiverse, the people that kind of hate the 80% of humanity, or but I find it difficult to integrate with them. So they come out here and let loose and be themselves, and I would like to continue that task. It's difficult because I'm autistic and I'm completely antisocial. So um, it's very choosy, picky process. Um, but the events are part of that process.
I would
People come and have a good time, and some of them stay, some of them don't.
Anybody that's been there probably knows exactly what I'm talking about. It just well, I know that you put on another event since the last one that I was able to share, and wondrously enough, also play, and it was magical. And now you've done another event out there, and quite often these turn out to be the only performances that you can see in America,
Mm.
and in what a fashion too. The In Bondage Music Rapture and Kink Fest was out in it's Silent Valley, right?
Yes, I've labeled it Silent Valley. It's not officially correct, but it is for me. And
Look at that. Okay, the imagery right here again is like surpassing like everything you would expect from coming to sort of like a private gathering. It turns out to be, well, the show I witnessed out there was amongst like probably your most amazing, most freakiest performance that I've ever seen. And I loved how the parameters just went quite a bit further. Well, further, you always take it far, but the production values, I guess you're able to zoom in on like making a statement in your own space there that is just
yeah,
so unique.
yeah, that's very lucky. I feel like I can experiment for for months without pressure, just creating the correct stage design that I would like for that particular show. It changes, but like for instance, what you're looking at there is this what's called a skyjack, and that's a big piece of construction equipment that I use to build things in the barn with, and I decided to use it for the show because it was there and it was convenient, and it became part of the show. And it's a cool piece of wild, freaky equipment. You can go up and down on it. So it's a scissor lift. If anybody knows what a scissor
Oh
lift
wow, it moves up and down too. Okay,
is. Yeah,
that
so
doesn't
I did that
surprise me.
during the performance. I went up and down, and it was
Wow.
fun.
And I don't know. The weather always seems to be key to these events. There, how was the weather for the second one? Was it okay?
It was on the cusp of
On the cuff.
bearable. It was beautiful. It was just before it got really hot. Obviously, it's desert, so we're a bit hotter than you are there in LA. But it was bearable, and the evenings are fantastic, magical. There's a great view. You can watch the sunset. You can have some food, and then you can get your fucking genitals out and go
And
fucking
no
nuts.
threat, no
Yeah.
problem. Yeah, I
No,
was I was amazed at the first one, watching what you were building, and I can only imagine if I was to see it now. I mean, I'm sad to have missed this last one. I guess we were on tour or something, but to see it now, I can only imagine that you have progressed the development out there further. You had some shipping containers you were working on. Is that all? Has that been coming along?
yeah, there's some. I managed to outfit the horse barn. That's what you're looking at. Yeah,
Oops, sorry, Chris.
that's fine. Um, that is the horse barn. Yeah, this used to be an old horse ranch. And now I've kitted this out. I sort of retrofitted the barn with a nice concrete floor and built out some insulation and nice big visuals wall behind. I don't think that was. What is it? What am I looking at there?
This is the performance the last time when we were there
Oh,
out there.
yeah.
out
So
out at the Silent Valley party, the first round, and everyone was on the headphones, but you had it also coming through a PA, which was quite magical. You could get the balance just completely insanely. Well, you could listen to it in two different manners. I thought that was quite amazing. Are you still are you still doing the in-air monitoring out there on the In Bondage event?
we did not do it with the headphones. I ended up going really, really loud with the PA. So I think that the neighborhood was wobbled.
But it seems you're far enough away from people that it's you can get away with.
I think so. There are very few neighbors, and we're very close to government land. So it's about 80 acres, and we tend to just blast it if well, I do tend to just blast it, but if I need to, I got a bit lazy with the headphones just because it's a lot of charging and a lot of kind of PA work to distribute them and stuff like that. So with this event, it was more about just bombastic, loud sound and kink, and trying to sort of animate people into feeling free enough to get their kink on.
And that's great. So, well, we're here to talk about Fault Lines too, and we got to definitely focus on this because this is your new album and a tour coming. And so, is the studio something that you put more together out there now, or is it did you build your studio up more, or what's the status on how this album was made?
Not really. It's it's an odd process that the whole studio thing for me, because I really go project by project and what's required. I've never been precious about studio equipment, or I would love a space if it magically appeared, but I've never been obsessive about it, and it's always been more about what I need, the tools I need at the time to make the record. And I just leaned into software, a bit of modular, kept it very simple, and therefore I didn't really need to do much to my space. And studios are expensive; they can take a lot of time and a lot of head work, and I don't really have that time at the moment. Eventually, I'd like that, but it's not my priority. Yeah.
Well, you always have been super. I mean, I've never seen anybody be as good at hooking up studio stuff as you. Like, you will use a limited amount of space, and the mixer will go on the roof and everything. So, I mean, I always notice that you also use a lot of gear live, very quite technical setup, and with morphogenes and Strymon, fantastic effects and stuff like that. So I can imagine that you're still utilizing this, what I'll call it, the Chris Mega Rack that I've witnessed a few times. It's very interesting, actually. It's almost like, it kind of seems like it's your own Tonto, in the sense that it's like an amalgamation of a whole bunch of different great little devices that work together to control each other. Is this still the manner that you're working in?
It is. I
I love
do
it.
try. I try and bring as much of that as I can. It gets, as you well know, modular is a little unpredictable, and using it live is a little bit. It's a bit of a nail biting experience. So I've definitely tried to minimize it, but without compromising the quirkiness and the life that it brings. I think modular just brings something. You introduced me to it. You know better than anybody. You're building your own shit, and I'm jealous of that. It's just, I don't know. It just adds a dimension that you can't get any other way. So to manage to bring that into the live experience has become really important to me. It somehow elevates electronic music into being more free, and
Oh, I predicted that. Connie's saying hello, Chris.
hello, Connie.
Hello, Connie.
Connie,
I noticed at the In Bondage event that you were auctioning off some gear, so you're trimming down some of the essentials here. It looks like,
yeah,
maybe not the essentials. I see a Kawaii keyboard, a
yeah.
DX. Some of these are kind of rare, aren't they?
I, I I believe so. But that I don't use them, and I feel like
Yeah.
somebody else would obsess over them and give them love, and I feel a little bit sorry for them that they're just sitting there doing nothing. And I'm at the point where I might just give them to somebody, because it's not. I've used them in the past on particular albums, particular projects. I used them with Sneaker Pimps as well. So there's a lot of history to them,
Yeah.
but they mean nothing to me really. It sounds a bit harsh, but I don't know. I just feel like I need to move on and create some space, actually. So if anybody wants to come and pick them up,
Hey, you heard it here first. Um, I always loved the first time that I ever saw you live. It really blew me away with how you were utilizing a couple mics with different vocal effects and reverbs on one, and more of a dry thing on another, or a delay, and so on. It was really amazing. And so you're always quite masterful on the things that you choose when you do play live. Is there something that you found that is the absolute essential? I do not feel like playing live without a certain piece of gear, or are you always changing with new things?
no, I think very very well observed, because I think the double mic or the extreme vocal effect thing has become my go-to to to be excited because I do so much singing um, that I sort of lose touch with the technology,
Yeah.
and a way I can do that is to sort of manipulate my voice, and I'll use the things that I'm really set on now are things like an old Boss digital delay, for instance. That for some reason it's been one of my go-tos for years because it's just so small, so manipulable, so powerful in creating movement and quirkiness that I need that pedal.
Is
Um,
that the foot pedal, the
yeah,
a Boss digital delay effects pedal?
that's it. Just
Is it
just
is
one of
it
those.
orange by chance?
No, it's
No,
it's blue.
it's blue.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
it's
wow,
blue. It's a
special blue
very,
version, people.
yeah, and it's a sample delay. You know the sample delay.
Yeah,
It just I don't know what it does to my voice, but it's just always been incredible, and it's still and you can get such easy distortion and feedback, and you can get that loop without that feedback loop without it going nuts. It's very analog. It feels like an old tape machine in a way. So I have that on
it's
my voice.
weird.
I'm throwing it into the morphogen a lot, so I'm hooked on that. Seems like a very
You become quite masterful at the morphogene, from what I can hear, and especially live. I saw you using it more. Yeah, like almost like a delay, like repeating delay effect. Was that from the morphogene?
exactly, yeah. It's like a combination of what's really special about the morphogen, and I can sync it. So I sync it to my tracks, and the tracks will basically give it the tempo, and then I can use a clock divider to put it into triplets or into quarter notes or eights or sixteens or whatever, like live. That's very powerful because you can send it to the morphogen, and then the morphogen can also clock divide it itself, but if it's in sync, and then I can do lots of different versions of manipulation. You know how it can go. It can do an extreme pitch shift
Yeah,
whilst also maintaining the same pitch, or you can have like two layers of pitch in it and two loops going on within it. It's a beautiful machine
it's a
for my.
deep box though. It's not like the first. It's not a thing you can like sit down and instantly. Okay, here we go. It's more like, wait, let me figure out what's in front of me. I found it
Yeah,
to be like a typical modular make noise thing where they have this like Martian language on it that you kind of have to decipher as well.
yeah,
But
absolutely
you've
right.
become quite masterful.
Just through mistakes. I mean, just through I didn't. I hate manuals. I never read a manual. I think
Yeah,
it's like if I can see the power of it very quickly, but getting to know it is actually quite hard. You're right. Um,
yeah.
but
There's a learning curve.
I know a few things now because I've just used it so much and made the mistakes and kind of got a handle on it.
Yeah. I'll have to come over sometime and you can share some of those secrets with me.
You have to
But
chill with me.
these are great effects too. Are you working with these in a live setup as well? Starlab and Magneto by Strymon.
I I am. I'm working with the Starlab Magneto. I tried the Magneto, but I kind of had that covered with the Boss and the Morph. Um, so I think the Starlab is very much like the Big Sky that I used to use a lot,
Yeah,
and so now I have like a little mini rack that I'll put that in. It's much smaller than the Big Sky, so it kind of covers that
yeah, for
beautiful,
sure.
expansive reverb that I used to get with that. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Well, I was wondering too, though, in seeing your set, like it seems that a lot of the drums sounds that you were when you were remaking some of your songs really hybridized, really like. Have you gone back and reworked how you want to hear drums in any particular manner, especially with fault lines too? Did he freeze? Did we lose you? Did we lose Chris's connection there? Possibly. It's known that in Silent Valley that the connection can sometimes possibly time out. But it's funny, either that or I've really stumped Chris on a question. I highly okay. He's gonna chime back in here in a second, but yeah, we can have situations happen like this from Silent Valley because it's literally out in the middle of an area that is quite a distance away from other. Well, I mean, there is houses around there that you can see in the way distance, but generally on the hilltop from where he is, it's kind of like being in a remote area. And we'll get to talk to Chris hopefully more about that in a second. But again, thank you guys for tuning in today. And let's get into talking about the album Fault Lines 2, which is about to come out. And talking about, I think we have a 30-second preview of the Neurosymphony song today to show you guys. And perhaps I could even get that linked here for you guys while we're hopefully waiting for Chris to relink here. Yes. Oh, don't you love technical difficulties? Let's take a look at this in the meantime. Yay! I think he's almost back. But yeah, just previewed the 30-second Neurosymphony. Let's see if we've got Chris back here. Seems like he's there, but he's called Zoom user. And it doesn't seem that he has... there he is. He's back.
Zoom user is a lie. I never use Zoom, as you can.
There we can see you now. We can even see your underpants this time. I think that that's probably why people have tuned in.
It's just for the undies. I know, right? Fuck the technology.
The undies are great, and I think that also the Neurosymphony song is also awesome. The production, as usual. I mean, certainly the change of areas and studios for you has not decreased the sound quality in any way. It sounds fantastic. Uh-oh. What happened to your microphone?
Hello?
Hello. There you are. You're there.
It's because I'm talking like a little mouse. Hold on. Am I? Hello?
Yeah, you're here. I hear you. I believe I do.
I see you. I see you.
The album, the Neurosymphony sounds great. It's, again, recorded, produced, mixed, everything there in your facility by you.
I didn't actually mix this album.
Oh, wow.
I know, it's a new one for me. So, but the rest is true. Yeah, I'm trying something new and seeing if that can work for me. Yeah.
So you work with David Bottrell on recent works. Is it who are you working with now? Somebody new or same?
David's go-to mixing engineer is Ryan McCambridge. He offered to do both albums, and and I took him up. It's a strange thing for me to do, but I'm really glad I did. I think the sound is awesome, and it freed up a lot of mental space for me at the end there. You know how difficult that process is. So I was grateful to have the help.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does help to have somebody that also, there's no greater feeling than writing a song and then getting the mix back from a guy and actually being like blown away by somebody's work that does something to your own thing.
Yeah, yeah, I know, and I'd like to sort of reclaim. Oh, am I here? Have I gone?
You'd like to what?
I'd like to reclaim some of that time, because you know that time and stress at the end of when you're completing something like that is, it sort of takes away from the joy of what you've just described. When there is this joy of sort of sharing, or just feeling your work, hearing your work in a different way, and I miss that actually. So I'm trying to reclaim some of that.
There's no better way, and you know, it's like when we did Anger is an Acid, and I sent it up to Greg to mix. When I got it back, I was just really taken aback by how huge the idea came back sounding. I was like, okay, I expected it to sound great, but I mean, I just love it when it comes back and it just kind of can mow you down a bit.
Yeah, he did an amazing job, and it did sound massive
Yeah,
actually, and it just, everything popped, everything was crisp and powerful, and it just added this extra dimension that yeah, blew me away too. It was a great thing. Oh shit, somebody is coming in.
somebody's coming in. Hello, somebody coming in. Stanley's coming in. Yeah, this is what Stanley. Stop.
Stanley.
Stanley's become like this, like uber sort of like, I need to see you now, cat.
Oh
He's
my
like,
God, a cat.
it's a new baby.
Oh, Stanley, hello.
He's 5. Actually, today is his 6 month and is his 6 month birthday. He's 6 months old today. Can you want
Oh,
to take him? He's gonna go nuts. Here he
look
is,
at,
folks.
I know
Oh, he
it.
even said hi.
I see a Kevin.
this is my cat.
Yeah.
Oh, Janine! Hello! Hi there. So good to
Hi.
see you.
I know it's been way too long.
Been way too long.
Yeah.
I am so glad to see you. And how are things?
Things are great. The sun is shining, and
We're alive.
we're live. Isn't it good to be alive?
It is, you know. I, I just saying to Chris,
I know.
we're not seeing enough people. I mean, we just went to Japan and we kind of saw 1 million people, and then we come here and get completely isolated again. So we were
Yeah.
like thinking about, wow, there's got to be a bit of like, yeah. So, anyways, we needed a little bit of catch up time today too, as well as our chat, talking about
Absolutely.
things.
We miss
But
you, buddy.
we miss you too. And it was so good. Like the last time that we saw you guys, believe it or not, is a year ago at the
Jesus.
Mayan Theater. You guys kindly invited myself and Dre to come and play with you guys there. Again, another fabulous night with you guys. And we got to jam.
Yeah.
And you guys jammed. And more nudity and all sorts of goodness. Yeah.
Where's the picture of Rihanna getting her tits out next to me on stage?
Was that?
Yeah.
Did that?
Yeah, I think
Oh yeah,
so.
yeah. We should have got that picture out.
That was the best moment of the night.
Yeah. And she, well, I think she was inspired but she saw your tour manager guy, and he
Yeah.
just at one point he said, "That's it. I am getting on stage and I'm taking off all my clothes." And we're like, "Really?" And he did.
did.
So she
Yeah,
didn't.
tour manager right there. That's how you judge.
That's what you want.
Yeah, that's how you find out if they're really a good tour manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you guys always do encourage the nudity,
Yeah.
so to speak, or the kink, as you might
Yeah.
call it. You know, and you guys were able to, after the last time we saw you, go to Europe together and play so many shows, and I haven't had a chance to even speak to you about it,
Yeah.
especially after, especially you were able to return to the Ukraine and
Yes.
play a couple of shows there. I mean, what was the feeling like?
Oh, it was very, very deep. It was very deep. It was right. Is that the right word? Because it was just.
I can't imagine.
It was absolutely surreal. I mean, it was so. You know, we knew we were in Lviv, which is really at the other end of where the
Yeah.
Sorry, Janine. Sorry, Janine.
Oh, no sorry.
No sorries.
You.
The Queen's majestic ass.
Yeah, I mean, we
Essential.
get back to the serious topics.
No, can't talk about Ukraine when he's showing an ass.
Yeah, I know, that's quite distracting. Yeah, we knew we were fairly far away from where the bombing happens, at the other end of Ukraine, but it was still, yeah, as soon as we entered, it was very real, extremely real.
Oh yeah, we had bomb alerts.
Yeah, in the middle of the night.
In the night, so we had to
Wow.
go to the bomb shelter in the hotel. So it's totally real, visceral. It feels palpable when you go there. But it was, I think, just the fact that we were able to reconnect with those poor people was, I don't know, just so valuable to us. I think we'll try and do it again.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. I want to go there again, as soon as we can.
And well, you guys had always played Ukraine before the whole crap
Yeah.
started happening. So I mean, I know that you were always telling me that some of your favorite shows were in the most out of the way places, and so
Yeah.
a lot of the countries, hey, not Stanley, a lot of the countries you used to play are not even on the list to be able to play anymore.
Yeah, I
that
know.
is true.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a very strange feeling, that, yeah, I don't know, it's so hard to find words for this situation, but yeah, it felt very, very important to us to go there, and our crew as well. I mean, we our expenses were covered, but none of us made money, and it took a week with all the traveling. The traveling is complicated because there are no planes
You have to
that go
drive
to Ukraine.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to cross the border, which takes hours, and it's all working. It's all possible. It's not as impossible as people think, and not as dangerous as people think. But you have to really want to do it to go there. It's yeah. So, but playing the 2 shows there for them was, I don't know, that feeling was just priceless.
Can't imagine. So
Yeah.
killer. So great that you guys were able to do that. And Janine, really the outfits you had on this tour, like absolutely fabulous. Where did those come from?
From the internet.
Really good shopping then.
Yeah.
I almost was thinking,
Very, very good shopping. Yes.
It took a
yeah,
long
very
time.
very good. And Chris, your whole thing, that's not from the internet.
No, I'm too much of a cheapskate to buy anything, so I just spend a lot of time upscaling. Let's call it upcycling. That's what I like to call it.
Yes, you're an upcycler.
I'm an upcycler, so I'll
Yeah.
take old bits of crap and just piece it all together and sort of give it new life, make it fabulous again, make my hair great again.
Wait, did
Wow.
you guys watch the video or a clip of the video?
Yeah, because I was I was
Yes, when we lost the connection, we did, but we can do it again.
No, it's fine. I've seen it, but I wondered if you talked about it already.
Yeah, let's
Because people
let's talk
also-
about it. Let's watch it again, perhaps,
Yeah.
or possibly. Janine, that's a great shot.
Yeah, that is a good shot. Who took that? Film 44.
Yeah, by the way, thanks to all the photographers who I'm sharing your photos of. Fabulous shots. No, I thought that your show was incredibly visual in the sense that it's almost like a little bit of a theatrical event at the same time as it's a concert. But then that's kind of been since the very first time that I ever saw you. I almost kind of related it to a Berlin-esque type of cabaret-esque vibe that I've always got from you. It's like deep, dark cabaret. What do you call that? Is there a word for that?
I like that.
What would you call it?
Cabaret, deep, dark cabaret,
Dark,
and
dirty. Don't forget the dirty.
d-
Dark, dirty. Cabaret. Yeah. Good,
so
it's
some of the images that we're seeing in the video, again, fabulously shot. Is this again your handiwork on your camera? When you bring your camera, I mean, give us a story on the fabulous images that we're seeing so far.
Yeah, these are shot on my new camera, which I've become obsessed with. It's a cheapo high-speed camera. That doesn't give
It's not that cheap.
it doesn't give it justice, but it's about $6,000 camera. I know it sounds ridiculous for a camera, but it does what a 100-gram camera could do, like a Phantom Flex or something like that. And so it can do very high frame rates and
Which
create
means slow motion.
create new
Right.
create new worlds. Hi, what? Hello.
Oh, hi.
You're touching me. Don't touch me.
Sorry.
But Chris,
Okay.
I know that you are as much an expert at photography and video making as you are the maker of your music and everything about your world. So I know that if you would invest in that camera, I would know there would be a good reason to do so. So we should all learn from the master, basically. But
Oh my-
basically,
Oh, Kevin, you are just the
I think
most
you
come
must-
on,
Giving me
don't be so modest.
I am.
No, he's
I
right.
am.
Kevin's right.
I will take it.
Yeah.
Okay, he'll take it.
Thank you.
But-
I
but-
love. Thank you.
But here we are. Obviously, all the imagery and photos again looking fabulous. And here comes the album. It looks like it's only a short time away, and you have the video in its full coming out next on the 27th, I believe, right? 4 days from now
Yeah.
We'll
for
also do
Neuro
it,
Symphony.
just about the video on that day, a live stream.
Yes, we will do a live stream on the same day.
Okay, good. And looking forward to that. But let's once again maybe check it out. I'm seeing that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 songs on the album. You picked Neuro Symphony as a single. Is there anything different that you've got going on with when you sat down to write this album? You were able to go and do a world tour and then come back and start writing again. What changed about your mindset when you came to make Fault Lines 2 versus Fault Lines 1?
Well, Fault Lines 2 was very much a continuation of the first one. Most of it was already written. So it was really just getting into the completion stage on those tracks, rewriting a few things. The second single, The Ocean, is quite a new version of IAMX in a way. I collaborated with an Icelandic singer on that one.
Oh, wow.
So that's an interesting excursion, I think, and a lot of people seem to love that song that have heard it. In fact, The Ocean was played at Janine's mom's funeral.
Yes.
I
I heard it, and it was just, I knew she would absolutely love that song because she was a massive IMX fan and supporter. And so, and it was just so fitting. So, yeah, we played it, the first half of the song at a funeral. So obviously to me, it means a lot, but I agree. It's a very different IMX song.
Wow, I'm interested to hear. One thing I'm noticing on Neuro Symphony, though, again, is like, dude, I don't know where you get your beautiful choir sounds from, or how you create like the sort of heavenly heavenly choirs. I don't know if that's you singing multi-tracks or if you're getting that sound out of a sampler. I mean, do you want to dispel some of that? Like the intro of Neurosymphony is
Yeah,
just
that's
absurdly good.
oh, that's me. That's me layered. Actually, there's a lot of so there's a lot of harmonies going on there, but there's also some manipulation in the morphogen into the rack. And
It's amazing.
what I found is that you can create these with the morphogen and big reverbs like Style Up or something. You can create some very spooky high alien choral sounds. So that layered with, so you get that weird stuff, and then layered with the actual harmonies is that effect.
It's so good, man. I mean, I can only say how it hits me in the end result. And I would think that many of my friends, the geeky technical programmer guys, would be like, "What synth is that? You know, is that Omnisphere? What is that?" You know, it's like, no, I bet you that's Chris singing that.
Yeah.
Speaking
It's
of
act-
which, let's
it's
try it
act-
one more time. Wow. Well, I mean, it's lucky that we've had a chance to hear the full song as it is available to hear online on your IAMXmusic.com, and it's amazing. Obviously, it rolls into the sex beats. Can I call it that?
The IMX
And
with sexy
yeah,
beat.
it's perfectly in fashion with you know, the emotion and then the throb. So I don't know, the microscopic shots there are quite amazing. How are you?
I think it described my life: the emotion and then the throb.
All that
That's all there is to me. So what was the question? Sorry, I thought it was such a great comment, but what was the question again?
I can't. I think I'm thinking too much about your answer, and
Yeah.
I think we you know, once we get in our discussion, we can fall off track there. Yeah, emotion and the throb. I also noticed the jewelry in the video, and I noticed the photography of how well everything, like the microscope. I won't go into that, and the microscopic beautifulness. Now, how is that? Is that the new camera showing off its abilities?
It is, yes.
I can't even imagine. That is just. I can only imagine you could just get lost in that for
I do.
centuries.
I do.
that's
Yeah.
what the video is only coming out now.
Yeah, I did
Right.
get lost for a couple of months.
Yeah.
I admit that I wouldn't say it was not necessary. I'd say it probably was necessary getting lost in it. Oh my
Oh, the
god!
cat. Oh my God.
You know I have a cat now.
Was that your cat?
Me, I have a cat.
Yeah, but it's not in the studio.
It's not
Okay.
here.
No.
Oh,
But
you
it
heard?
meows.
Was that our cat that meowed? You heard it? Oh yeah, it's Stanley. He's a talker.
And
Stanley's brilliant.
I love it.
Yeah, Stanley is definitely. Are you a talker, Stanley? Oh, he's come to say hi again. Okay, here he is.
Stanley.
Stanley, you gonna say hi? So
Hello,
he kind of
Stanley.
looks like Fisherman.
A little
It
bit.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you find him?
Well, believe it or not, he came from the same breeder as Fisherman, so he should look a little bit the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we didn't have fish for a year and a half, and then you get this creature back, and he's like almost a little too familiar. It'd be like you guys getting a white palm, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden it's like, wait, this is did they just come back? I mean, in some ways, it's quite beautiful. You'll find yourself saying, all the sadness I maybe felt, I'm going to put everything into this guy.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
it's quite beautiful.
Is that
So yeah,
actually clone their animals, don't they? Is that weird? Is that
you
weird? Is
know,
that morally
you
wrong?
can do that, yeah. But what's cool is that Stanley's different enough that he's going to make it his own. It's like, yeah, there's similarities to fish, and so similarities to the cat before it, but he's going to make it his own. But
Fish
yeah,
2.0.
I think the most devastating things that I find that you can suffer in life is the loss of your animal and of course your parents. Janine, I hope you're doing well.
Yeah,
Regards.
considering I'm going through the motions, but oh yeah, I haven't lost my humor. Sometimes, well, actually, sometimes I don't have much humor. Yeah, it's like what it's like. It's like it comes in waves. Kind of.
It's been fucking nuts.
It's been crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's been
Yes,
life changing.
It should be. It should be not the easiest thing. I think the way you've handled it, and especially when I watched, you did a head noise on it,
Yes.
dealing with grief and loss. I think that was really, really interesting. Anybody that's lost, I've lost both my parents too. Anybody that's lost their parents can relate to people expressing themselves of how to deal with it, and I think that's one of the greatest things you guys offer to people is help for people that because you get so many fans, right? Well, that will write you before, say, previous times, and they'd be like, I found your music when I'm so lost and I needed you and I needed that type of thing. And then you also give them help, not just to guess how you deal with things, but to actually give them help. So I found that hugely amazing, you
Thanks.
guys.
It was extremely important to me. It was one of those first thoughts I had. That I need to use this. Something good needs to come out of this, and
Yeah.
there's certain something you can only catch when it just happened, and that's why we did. Chris was kind of guiding me through it, but we did 2 streams. One when it has just happened, and then one a few weeks later when, or months later, or so when they had been officially identified and we could take them over to Germany. And now I am actually working. I'm about to post a podcast. No, not a podcast. What's it called again? A blog on my Substack, where I write about the last part. Well, the last part in terms of funeral and those kinds of things. Obviously there's never an end to the grieving process, but that kind of phase of the first shock, including all the things you have to do and deal with, like out of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
To those people who might not know, Janine lost both of her parents in a tragic car crash at the same time, and losing people one is enough, but losing both at the same time is I mean, I think you're a testament to actually how it is you are working through it, because a lot of people wouldn't be even dealing with it in the same manner. So congratulations on
Incredible.
sort of like setting us an
Sometimes
example.
I'm almost more worried that I'm not grieving hard enough, but I think it is hard enough. I'm just not. It's interesting to see what type of griever I am. I mean, I have had grief in my life, but it's different with your mom. And sorry, the other one was my mom's husband, my stepdad. My dad is still alive.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
very
sorry.
close
Yes,
to him as well. But it's obviously it's not the same as losing both parents. But anyway, I don't grieve very outwardly, I would say. I don't cry much. I do cry, but not that much. But it's constantly on my mind. I constantly try to figure it out. I try to learn from it. I try to give to others. I just constantly, I'm a bit obsessive with my grief, I think.
Yeah, you've been obsessive to the extent of trying to investigate every detail
Yes.
of what happened,
Yes.
when it happened, what happened to them.
What did the bodies look
I mean,
like?
she's been obsessed with it.
Yeah. Like everything. Was the driver, everything,
It's been,
I mean, closure's like that in the sense of like, if that's what is important to answer in your brain, then that there's something that has to be done.
Yeah.
So I can fully understand that. I think there's a lot of people here which are also in agreement with that. In the comments here, thanks for your comments, guys. But yeah, I don't know. I guess the next best solution is music and getting stuff out. And you guys are preparing for another tour coming up, some shows in America. Is it going to be both of you again? Can you let out that information? Or it's not in America, it's in Europe. I'm sorry, guys. You do have a show in America coming up. We'll get to. But first, you're going to Europa again to do some shows for the Fractures Tour 2024. And that is coming up, it looks like, at the end of August into September.
Yeah.
Looks like lots of interesting places like Athens, Istanbul. Oh, so good.
Yeah. It was to kind of wrap up the first Fault Lines. It's a little bit of an in-between tour because we wanted to hit these places on the last tour, but we couldn't do it. So we built this around a festival that we're doing in Germany, and it's turned into a tour. It wasn't meant to be, but it is now, and we get to go to these incredible places. Istanbul again, I love.
You've always talked about that, how wonderful it is to play there.
Fantastic.
It's
good.
It's great that it's now become a time where you can kind of safely say you can go back to these places without worrying about COVID and all that rest of stuff we're all dealing with. What's this? Nocturnal Culture Night with camping. Camping with IAMX. Oh, that sounds dangerous.
Oh my God.
That's dirty again. We're getting dirty again.
Camping. I'm going to be sneaking into people's tents.
I hope that.
Not for us.
And you were talking about festivals. What is the other festivals? Is there some other ones that haven't been mentioned so far?
That one.
Cold Waves. Yes.
Yeah, we got Cold Waves coming up. It looks like a return to the Mayan Theater. October 13th at the Mayan there. Looks like a good bill.
Yeah.
And it looks like this is going to be the only US show for the remainder of this year now. Is that the case?
Might be another one, right? We don't know yet. There might be one more US show. I don't know if we can say anymore, but
could be secret.
Yeah. Well, it's just not fully confirmed yet, so you know what it's like. It's not fair to all the involved parties to say anything. But I think there might be one more show in the US.
But this would be the last.
Yeah.
Until probably the end of next year or something. It's going to be quite a big break.
But 2025 there'll be a lot of touring, I think. Right? Can we say that?
It could be.
Yeah, come on.
I'm going to milk the fuck out of it.
Say yes.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
Don't touch me. Okay?
I think don't touch me. I think that's it's kind of due because up until now it's not. I don't think like people in the rest of America get a chance to get enough.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah. Well, you know what? Until they get it, fuck them. They're gonna have to fucking wait. We'll have to keep them edging, indeed.
So the album comes out officially. What's the album release date again? Is it in October?
End August.
Hell knows.
The
end of August.
Yeah, end of August. Like basically the day. I think the day the tour starts, right?
I don't know. It's
somewhere around the tour start.
Just August 30th. Okay, yeah, and that's always the best time as well, as you say. Start your tour right on the day you release your album or the week. Those are always the best tours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. That's a good pep talk. I love it.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to it as much as anybody. So I guess I'll be seeing you guys at the Mayan in October, but I don't think I can wait that long.
Why don't you come over and party?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we're gonna have to come over and meet you guys somewhere in Europe.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
Now
Yeah.
That sounds
that's
great,
a true
right?
threat.
Yeah, I think so. People should know that the place to go. You can now pre-order all sorts of goodies, like vinyl. It looks like classic gold vinyl, or
Mm,
all sorts of goodies, right? The album in
mm.
all sorts of formats. Here at IAMXmusic.com, you can go and get all sorts of yummies.
Oh,
It looks like
absolutely.
Fault Lines 2 pre-order and
Yeah.
merchandise, Fault Lines 1 and stuff.
It's, bras and beach towels and shit like that, you know.
Condoms. You can get
Condoms.
condoms, I think.
Condoms.
Are they
Yeah.
on the?
I don't know if they're on the
I don't
shop,
know.
actually.
And you released the Mile Deep Hollow Tour 2019 live, and as well you've been re-releasing a lot of the singles, which is super cool. Like my favorite, The Alternative.
Oh, yeah, we've been trying to get shit out there and keep the ball rolling, you know.
There's so many albums now. It's insane. But they're all. Oh yeah, the Echo Echo album there. That was also
Oh yes,
re-released.
that was re-released with extended tracks on it, with more
Oh yeah,
tracks.
yeah, Echo Echo extended version.
Yeah.
Look at that. The extended. Now, what made this different than the original? How did you get into extending it?
I just found lots of
Lots of extra bits.
yeah, that I prepared for the album that never went on there, and they sounded pretty good. So it's like, oh, fuck it, let's just put them out anyway and repackage it a little bit.
So it's basically all acoustic versions you have of these
Yes,
songs, right?
yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And as well, was there a remix project too that was done? I thought I saw a bunch of remixes.
You might know more than I know,
Oh, okay.
which is not hard.
It's possible.
Sometimes we don't know what's going on as much as anybody else.
Absolutely.
And yeah, no, IMXmusic.com. You can come on here and get all the information. There's updates from Chris. There's links to the documentaries, which are
Yeah.
pretty awesome. You Can Be Happy, as well as the Mile Deep Hollow Tour. Both
Yes.
fabulous watches. And I believe you don't even have to.
No, you're so hired, Kevin. You are absolutely hired.
I mean, you're like our PA company now.
Yeah.
Right? But PA? No. PR company.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm always happy to promote things I love and people I love, and this is in my nature. And I know that Rihanna would like to say hello too.
Hi.
Maybe you should.
She says, Janine, we need to catch up soon.
Get your tits out.
They're always out.
Oh.
Kevin, what are you up to?
That's funny. I just got back from Japan, and I forgot that it kind of always sends me for a bit of a loop. Like when I come back, it's like there's such an immense cultural sort of mindset blast there that when I come back, I really, it takes me a while to really get my mind together, and then I remembered that wait, it was like this every time. So I don't know why it is. Maybe it is that it's just such we just do a lot of like a lot of walking. That's for sure. 7 to 10 miles a day.
Wow.
I don't smoke weed. Maybe that could be it too.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I meet up with a lot of friends like you guys, where it's
Yeah.
like lifelong people that you don't see. In this case, 5 years. It's just like I don't know. So it's kind of interesting. I'm rebuilding my studio right now. I mean, of course, it was weird to like have the end of Skinny Puppy happen,
yeah.
and um, that was really strange. I mean, I wasn't quite expecting it to be as kind of strange after as it was. It's left me with a perspective of like, which I still haven't put a finger on yet, I don't think, but it's kind of left me with with a bit of a strange perspective. Luckily, I was able to make an album with Bill Lieb and Reese called Cyberactive, and that actually sort of cleansed my musical soul a bit because I was able to express myself in a way that there was a source, there was a completion. Like up until now, I'd make a song or whatever, and then hit the skinny puppy wall of like, wait, this is never going to get turned into anything. So it was like really good to feel this sort of sense of completion over the last little while and feel connected again. But I don't know. I know where you're at, and you're at the point you've gone through the writing procedure. How long did you spend writing Fault Lines 2?
Probably 6 months, I think.
6
in all.
months, huh?
Yeah, I think combined with the first album, they feel like the same thing to me. Weirdly enough, I know they sound quite different.
Not to me.
Not to you, not to others, but to me, they were all happening at the same time. So I feel like it probably took about a year to create both albums. And
It's true because
yeah.
you started writing all songs first, and then when it came time to release Fault Lines 1, you had to choose a few out of those you were working on, right?
Mhm.
So initially, the one for Fault Lines 2 also started at the same time, roughly, right?
Yeah. I think the intention was to have a harder, more beatsy album, and then a kind of more not mellow but pensive, philosophical album, which is the second sort of weird cousin of the first. I feel like the second is a little more mentally or emotionally, psychologically developed, and the first is very much sex and beat driven in a way. I mean, there are some moments that are more reflective, but the second is the most reflective, I think.
I kind of thought that like it was so admirable that you kind of like you had the ideal house studio setup in Pioneer Town, probably the most dreamlike setting I've ever seen. But then you took an opportunity to put yourself right back to the beginning again, where you literally have to almost rebuild a space that is going to become your space again, and not only that, taking on that challenge as well as continuing to write, I think is incredibly incredibly admirable. I just like to know where you get the impetus from to each day. Just like, what do you focus? How do you focus when you got, you're fantastic at construction and like putting together these places, and then fantastic at photography where you can focus on that camera now probably for a year if you wanted to, or to make music. And then so do you say to yourself, today is going to be a music day, today is going to be a construction day?
Yeah, it is. I'm driven by I guess deadlines. There are, I like deadlines because it sort of makes me focus on what's important. I can prioritize. I'm very good at prioritizing. I have a lot of interests and a lot of drive and energy and momentum, inner momentum. You would probably call it restlessness, to create in any form, really. So it's probably to do with my neurodiversity, in the sense that I express myself in these, not just in the music, but visually and environmentally. I don't mean activism or anything. I mean just where I am in the world. Nature's very important to me, but also having a creative space is important. That moving from Pioneer Town, as I've done my whole
Was madness.
life was madness. I've moved a lot, and often the move is based on my triggers. So I have a lot of triggers, sound, people. So it's quite difficult for me to settle anywhere, actually. And this is the closest I've got so far. Cities are difficult. Pioneer Town became difficult because of the influx of Airbnbs, and it just became very attractive to too many people, and it lost its charm.
And then its privacy as well.
And its privacy.
Right?
I think the privacy started to go.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
was the people that came to stay, for a vacation. They usually don't understand how sound travels in the desert, like the locals do.
Oh, right, yeah.
They party and they get drunk and they say, "Oh my God, look at those stars," and all of that. Every word, even when
Yeah.
you're far away, And so, and if you're really sensitive like you to sudden, unexpected sounds, that is kind of one of your triggers, right?
Yeah.
Then that's just deadly. I mean, that's.
It's also like what those sounds, who those sounds come from, and what it represents, and the sort of the mentality of often of what it represents or symbolizes. It can, if it's an animal sound, it doesn't bother me, of course. If it's
or people laughing and having fun, like
no, laughing and having fun is fine, yeah. But when it's at the expense of, or it's just unawareness, I think. So you'll get rich hipsters coming out from LA or whatever,
Yep.
and very excited, and I love that for them. But it doesn't work when you go to the desert for peace. You don't want to bring the city with you. So here is a bit closer. There have been some issues, and we're working on that. But generally, it's the closest I've got. So, but you have to rebuild some things like the creative spaces, and yes, that is a lot of work and it's challenging. But
That's so good to hear that you keep saying this is the closest you've come.
Yeah.
It is.
That's the goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Janine, I always liked how you were staying creative out at Pioneer Town. You were finding all sorts of these amazing oddities in the desert and bringing them home and creating artwork out of it. It was quite amazing. What do you do when Chris goes and has his whole roundabout of activities? Do you just stand back and watch the flurry, or you have your own flurry?
Sort of biting her nails. Like, is he going to when he's moving that?
Well,
thing?
that is definitely he's a bit of a risk taker. He does by himself, so he'll lift super heavy things and do kind of. Now nothing ever happens, but well, he's still alive, right? Some little things happen, but so that's a bit scary. But I have realized if I'm not present and I don't witness it, it's much easier for me.
Okay.
But no, I'm also I love to be busy all the time. Yes, I've
That's
actually
good.
recently started. I don't know if
I
I
haven't
talked
mentioned
about
it yet.
I talked about it maybe in the stream, but
Very exciting.
I started to train to become a certified ADHD life coach. And
Excellent.
yeah, and that's been a total journey and really, really interesting. It's a 1-year, very intense course with exams and shit like that. But I'm kind of halfway through. Yeah, halfway through. And I'm starting to coach now slowly. And that's, I'm going to school. It's really bizarre. It's all on Zoom, but it is proper, classmates and all of that stuff and homework.
That's amazing. Congratulations. I'm super happy to hear.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to just, help all the people that want it.
No, that's perfect. I mean, like, just always having something to do and continuing to develop, and right within this this world here. Chris, how are you able to when you're working with those? What are they called? The metal things.
Which one?
The things you build your house. You're building your house with. What do you call those things again?
Oh, corrugated metal.
Oh,
Or,
Yeah. Yeah.
or the bobcat
They're,
practice.
they're like empty storage containers or something like that.
Oh,
Shipping containers.
oh yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that you had them stacked on top of each other. Do you run the crane yourself to do that type of stuff?
I mean, close. I do have a bobcat, heavy machinery bobcat that I sort of hoof around on the land, and very much makes me feel like a real man.
Yes.
You know, and sort of the king of my own realm. You know, protecting my land, protecting my animals, my people. It feels very primal. So it's something.
What's life if you don't have your own tractor?
Oh my God! It's like
look at that. That's the perfect
it
picture.
is definitely slightly pornographic.
Well,
Every single day.
Janine, I have to ask: are you going to be present on the next series of shows, or are you going to be teaching?
Oh my God, those pictures.
I had to pull that out. You know, we mentioned it. We have boobs and butt. Boobs and butt.
Oh, look, I'm sucking those boobs. Yeah,
Oh my
baby.
God! Is
Woo!
that Rihanna's boot?
Yeah.
That's Rihanna's boobs, and this is Danny Lohner's butt.
I love it.
Dude, you need to come over and get naked, for God's sake.
I think there's some other famous people over here, but I don't know who they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I see some
Yeah.
kind of Kevin. Yeah.
But Janine, we need to know what is it, are you going to be back on stage with Chris this tour, or are you going to be the
Just,
coach?
I am enriching my life and my professional output. I'm not planning on disappearing.
Excellent.
This year is a little bit tricky for me because of the grief and having to help my siblings with a lot of things and having to go back and forth to Germany and all of that. It's a little bit shaky in terms of, you know, the 10 shows that are in Europe. So I'm not sure yet what we're gonna do. I don't know. But I am like me and IAMX. It's like together forever.
Yeah, we all need our IMX, and hopefully John will return, your number one drummer boy,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He will return.
and everybody can go and marvel again at
Billowing
the one.
With his billowing love.
Yeah.
You guys, I miss you so much. I need to see you in person soon. So let's get together, and hopefully before you leave here. I mean, we still got a couple months before this. So if you guys need tickets, if you're out there and you need tickets for the shows, just click the link here and you can get the tickets for all the shows that are coming up in Europe, as well as the Mayan Theater show, part of the Cold Waves thing. And while you're here, pick up some of the merch. The zip hoodie unisex, or some of the other products that are available that you can find all over the great website here. Guys, it's so good to see you.
We love you. We love you, Kevin.
Thank you so much. So much love for you. Chris, show us your underpants again.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing glamorous going on. Just what's happening. It's just.
Yeah.
Just a bulb.
It's just black and bulge.
I was expecting silver, but we can go with the black. You guys.
You roam around this property in the strangest things like that, so it wouldn't surprise me if I had some glittery undies on.
Are you serious? You mean that you literally do some of that construction work with silver glitty undies?
Yep. I just.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
I like it. Something kind of kinky about that.
Absolutely perfect. Is there anything else that we're missing out here and talking about before we say happy Sunday?
Not at all. You've covered everything. You're an amazing host.
No,
You know
you
that.
guys are just amazing to talk to. You make it easy.
Oh, you sweetheart.
No, big love to you, Chris and Janine, and all associated animals with the IAMX facility out there, and all of you guys, Sue, Lily, and all the IAMX helpers. Thank you so much again for helping me put this out and put it together. But you guys, thanks again. Without you, I would have nobody to talk to. So, you know.
Oh my God.
Shut up.
Get out here. Just come and live with us. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you've always said that. We should create a new community. I'm almost ready to do it, Chris.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. I'm gonna get you.
Hooking
But
you in.
Thank you to both of our Patreon communities and for the support that you
Yes.
give us both. Without you guys, I think we'd have less people to talk to even there. So we thank big thanks and love to you both. You guys have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll see you soon. All right.
So much love, brother.
Love you.
Bye.